Hey there, my name is Reagan Boggs and I'm a life coach, and one of the groups that I work with are adult children of alcoholics and helping them move forward. What comes up commonly in our conversations are questions around relationships. Questions like, why do I continue to pick the same kind of guy? Why do I pick the same kind of girl? Or why is it that when I have a relationship that could be really good for me, that I sabotage that? And there's a lot of good reasons for why this happens, and relationships are a challenge for children who have grown up with a parent who was not available for them. What happens is there is an abandonment trauma that you are supposed to be taken care of when you were a child. You are supposed to have attention. You are supposed to be loved. You are supposed to feel important. And that doesn't happen in a lot of cases with children who grow up in a home where there is addiction. The parent is just completely emotionally unavailable to the child because they are too obsessed with their own addiction and their own issues. And then maybe the other parent is so wrapped up in what is going on with the other spouse that they have no attention left for the child. So what happens is you have this abandonment hole that's left in this child, where what happens in the subconscious mind when you go forward, why you tend to pick people that are bad for you, is because your subconscious is constantly wanting a redo. They constantly want that to fix itself. They want that attention. They want that nurturing. They want that love, that feeling of wholeness that they did not get when they were children. So you're going to, and it's so frustrating for me when especially women, they're like, oh, she has daddy issues. Well, I mean, that's kind of a demeaning way to put that, but it's just one of the parents was not there and they didn't give you what you needed. And so you're going to find that guy who is unavailable, the narcissist. That's a common parallel that you hear is ACOAs are sometimes kind of called codependents, and there you can look up information about codependency and whether you feel like that fits you. There's a lot of definitions for that. I personally don't feel like I identify strongly with being a codependent, because to me that means that you absolutely have to have all of your validation and approval from outside sources, and that may or may not fit you. You kind of give up yourself, your identity in another person. But there is a very strong correlation between people who become codependents and that need for validation to come from an external source, constantly getting that approval, getting that love, and going about it in ways that aren't overly healthy. But you do tend to pick narcissists and people who are not available emotionally to you, and you're trying to fix that because that's what you grew up with, that's what you know, and that's what you're trying to, in golf they call this a mulligan. It's like you're trying to get that mulligan, you're trying to fix that hole and fix that relationship that replicates basically what you were dealing with as a child. So when you're constantly finding that person with those specific traits, that's what you're doing. You're trying to heal that abandonment trauma. You have come up with what's called an insecure attachment style, and you can research that online. I can put some information down below around attachment styles that you tend to develop when you're younger based on what your personal situation was. But that's what's going on there. That's why you're picking that. And you're not doing that on a conscious level. This is completely beyond your control. This is your subconscious at work, trying to fix something for you, trying to make you feel good and whole, where you are, you feel insecure. You don't feel like your worth is there without having that love and that affirmation from someone who was like your dad or your mom, who was emotionally not there for you. So the flip side of that is, why do I destroy relationships that are potentially healthy and good? And there are reasons for that as well. And it goes back to the abandonment trauma. And you would think, well, your logical brain would say, but this is a good thing. They are giving me what I need. They are giving me this love. But you are an ACOA, and what happens is deep down, you don't trust it. You feel you're just waiting for the axe to fall because that's what you know. And so there is this fear of abandonment is you're trying to head it off at the pass. Is this is too good to be true. You're going to destroy it before it destroys you. So subconsciously, that's kind of what's going on there. You have these feelings of being your self-value is not good. You are ready to experience a great relationship, but at the same time, you freak out because you are not. That's not what you know. You know the on and off again relationships. You know the chaos. That's what you are conditioned for. You are conditioned for stress. You are conditioned for not knowing what's coming next, what's crazy. You know how to function in high levels of stress. That's what you're good at. That's what you know. And that's when things are going well, and you can get bored because you're like, oh crap, what is this? This is normal. I don't get it. This is just weird. And then you start picking fights, or you just intentionally start doing things to destroy the relationship because this person is not stimulating you because you're used to chaos. You're not used to somebody treating you well and giving you attention and being good in all the ways that you need from a support standpoint, because that is foreign to you. Another reason is, we're conditioned for disappointment. We're conditioned for failure because, let's face it, we've never been able to depend on anything in our lives. The people that we love always hurt us, and that's what we grow to expect. That's what we know. That's what we have kind of hardened our hearts to believe. And, there is also, you kind of hold back in relationships because you've learned that, it doesn't help you to speak your real thoughts. It doesn't really help you to be open about things because in the past you were always punished for that. Or you were just completely ignored. It didn't benefit you one way or the other to really speak your mind on anything, or if you did, you got hurt for it. And you develop this protective shield around yourself, and you only let people in so far, and then people kind of get weary of that, and being held at bay all the time because they feel like you're withholding love or affection, or so you kind of you're just not able to go there, and so your relationships that are good tend to start falling apart once you aren't able to go beyond a certain point. And there are also issues around boundaries with ACOAs. What happens in the beginning, the mantra is, I love you, go away. But, what ACOAs do a lot of times is, because of this fear of abandonment, they kind of go head in, and they're all in, and they're doing everything possible to make the relationship be fantastic. And they give so much in the beginning, they burn out. Or they get resentful. They're trying to get love by doing, and then they feel unappreciated because they kind of expect that back, and they may or may not get it to the degree in which they're giving it, or they've been manipulative in that they're trying to get attention and behaviors by doing things for people that it seems on the surface selfless, but it isn't. It's just manipulating, trying to get things to go their way or get things they want, because one, they never are able to say what they want outright because they don't feel like they deserve what they're asking for or what they really want. So they kind of go around it in a backdoor kind of way, and then at some point when that doesn't happen, there's some resentment that comes along from that, and then they get to where they just, like, well, if you won't do this for me, I do this stuff for you all the time, and I can't even get you to take out the trash. We're done here. This is stupid. I'm over this. So there's that. And then, depending on what happened with the ACOA and how things went down in their childhood, there are going to be some areas where there is some hypersensitivity. And when you trigger one of those, there's, they call it a minefield. You're going to get snapped at, you're going to get jumped on, and you're going to be like, whoa, where did this come from? I don't get it. What did I do? It doesn't seem reasonable, your reaction here, but you hit something. And you have to, when you're dating someone who is an adult child of an alcoholic or a dysfunction, whatever you want to call it, you have to learn what those are and just be able to talk through those. And if you are an ACOA, then you're going to have to start becoming mindful of what those triggers are and being curious about where that came from and why you feel those certain ways and why you do overreact. And that's why a lot of times when you are an adult child of an alcoholic, you also have issues with complex PTSD or PTSD. And that's another thing that causes these overreactions to things, and the inability to be able to speak what's on your mind or in your heart, and having this self-talk going on in your head all the time that's telling you things, or telling you stories that make you paranoid, that make you not trust, that make you overreact, that make you just spin things out of control that normally you wouldn't. And so that's some issues around why we have a struggle with relationships, why we pick bad people sometimes, and why when we are in a good relationship that there's some things going on there that make it very difficult to maintain it. So that's why. If you'd like more information, I'm going to put some more information down below to some links. There's a great video from Robarge about abandonment trauma and obsessing, and how sometimes it's very difficult to let loose of people who are bad for us, and there's some behaviors that go along with that, and why we hang on to people who we know are not good for us. I'm going to put that link down below because he does a really good job in explaining that one. But anyway, thank you so much for your time again today. I hope this video has helped you a little bit. And if you're interested in my coaching, please visit rbcqualityoflife.com. And there's information on how you can set up and get an initial free consult interview to see if there's some benefit into coaching you through whatever. I'm a quality of life coach and an ACOA coach, so I work with a lot of different issues. So I'd love to work with you. I hope this has been helpful, and I'm going to continue to do these. And if you have any questions or specific things that you would like me to address, please feel free to comment down below with anything that you would like some information about. And if I don't know it, I will find it or tell you where to find it. But thank you so much, and have a great day.